Hello and welcome back. I'm John Hartledge. My esteemed guest and great friend is still with me on the deck for episode 2, Suzanne Wagner.
Thank you very much, John.
And we are very excited to get into our little discussion about a couple of dessert wines, but the world of dessert wine, if you will. Don't be surprised if you may hear a little snap, crackle, and pop because this is 4th of July weekend. Without further ado, let's chat wine. So, last episode, which if you missed the first episode in this whole 2-part episode with Suzanne Wagner, definitely check it out. It was the Pinot Grigio. We had the big surprise. She wasn't expecting much, but she really loved the Le Favole Pinot Grigio from Tenute Carorine from Friuli, Italy. And of course, we had the Vilm Pinot Gris, which was exquisite, and we knew it was going to be very good. A beautiful body. So definitely check that episode if you missed it. Now we're going to talk about dessert wine. Yes.
You know I like my sweet wines.
So this is Suzanne's indulgence. And you don't really do a lot of consumption when it comes to wine. It really is a lot of tasting.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
You notice we have water with a little bit of lemon. We're trying to keep the palate clean up. Obviously, these wines have so many other applications, all these different combinations of food combination, the setting. But I don't know if I've really talked a lot about dessert, and there are some really nice options. Usually everyone thinks ice wine. Oh yes, we love ice wine, but very expensive. Canadian ice wine could be about $100 for a half bottle.
Oh yeah.
Ice wine, even Sauterne, can again be $75 to $125 for a half bottle. We have a couple of options here which are really going to offer you some really neat alternatives, and they're just little gems, if you will. And we have age. Tell us about this. We have 1999, 1998. So at the time of filming, let's guess bottle age. 98, 99, 20. Oh, well, 20 years. Basically 20 years.
Yeah. Which is nothing for a dessert wine because there's so much sugar, and sugar is a preservative. So you can age these wines even longer than 20 years.
Yeah, excellent. I'm a little hesitant about which to try first. 1 year is not really going to make much difference. You're thinking here? Okay, all right, well, let's go. And this is from your home country, so.
That's right. That's the first reason. The second reason is it has less alcohol, I believe. So maybe leave this for second.
Yes, because with the Muscat Beaumes-de-Venise, we have a little bit of drying of the grapes, which makes them a little more sugar.
It's just a late...
Or because the later harvest?
Later harvest, really ripe grapes, but then the addition of neutral alcohol.
That's right. There's a little neutral spirit in this. This is a fortified wine, technically.
It's a vin doux naturel. That's the name for it, which means neutral alcohol has been added to stop the fermentation.
Okay.
So not all the sugar is converted.
So that leaves sugar in.
Yes.
But also gives you the body because you've added alcohol.
Correct.
A little bit in the port family. Kind of. You know, maybe a smidge.
Not that much.
Because
alcohol.
not that much alcohol.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. So here we go. And this guy, 9%. So, and tell us a little bit about this name, because it's always the nomenclature in German wines that can be so confusing. You know, you start with Cabernet to Spätlese to Auslese to Beerenauslese or Trockenbeerenauslese, Beerenauslese to ice wine.
Yeah, you got it right.
But that's the progression. But why? It's timing, correct?
That's right. Yes. And timing and the sweetness level. So Cabernet means it has the least amount of sugar. So if you prefer the drier wines, you would go with a Cabernet. If you do like a little sweeter, it's Spätlese, late harvest. Of course, the grapes are picked later. They have developed more sugars. It produces a sweeter wine.
Okay. I always find, even with Cabernet, they'll run about 11%, so you'll still get some sweetness. Mm-hmm. So I've really been enjoying the Sect the drier cabinets, and there's a couple of names for that.
Trocken?
Yes, so
Means
there's
dry.
Cabinet Trocken or Cabinet Frei.
Halbtrocken?
Yes,
Halb-
or Halbtrocken, so half dry, and those are highly prized.
Oh, yeah.
You know, to have that flavor profile, but then to be drier.
Yep.
With more acidity. So, but anyway, the next process. So Spätlese, a little later.
Yeah. Then Auslese means select berries. Auslese, you only pick the ripest, the most intact, the most perfect grapes. So the quality standard is much higher. Then you have Beerenauslese. Again, more selective. Trockenbeerenauslese. The word trocken means dry. So you leave the grapes on the vine until they're shriveled up, like raisins. That means a lot of water content has evaporated.
Okay.
And what's left in the grape is pure, concentrated, sweet, decadent
Exactly.
juice.
And that's going to start a longer fermentation, or a fermentation that's going to create maybe a little higher alcohol, but a drier wine because of that extra fermentation. Yes, that's what I would expect.
It's actually, it has a hard time fermenting all the sugar because it has so much.
So much.
And it's so sweet that the fermentation happens very, very slowly. So you actually can have a Trockenbeerenauslese with very little alcohol.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that is fascinating.
It takes a long time to ferment, but because the fermentation is so slow, the alcohol level is actually not that high. So often it's compared to a Sauterne or a Barsac, really rich, decadent, sweet wines.
Wow.
And then of course the ice wine is very special because you literally have to pick the grapes when they're frozen.
And by that point, they have thawed, they've frozen, they've thawed. They've gone through a lot of processes, many molds, and all kinds of flavor profile changes.
Yep, absolutely.
Looking at this cork, and this looks like there's a wax
Yep.
coating.
I think it's a wax seal.
Wow.
So sometimes when it's a wax seal, I literally put the helix right through the wax seal into the cork and pull it all out.
I always worry because it's old and it's more brittle. I worry about that getting in, and I'm going to wax.
Taste it.
And I think I've been pronouncing Auslese wrong. I noticed you do Auslese. I thought with the S, with the L, it'd be Auslese. Auslese, more pure
Yeah,
pronunciation. Is that because of it's a two-part word?
Not at
No?
all.
Wonderful.
If you make the sound you do, it would have to be an SCH. Ausch.
Auslese.
It's just an S.
Auslese.
Correct.
Beautiful. Thank you. I always go to school when I talk to Suzanne. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
You don't need any schooling. Not when it comes to wine, anyway.
I'm having a little trouble with this cork, and that's okay, because we're going to do a cork rescue. I'm going to try that other corkscrew. It wants to go right through. Let me try that. See if I can rescue the piece. I'm going to go at a different angle and see if I can't get... Oh, there we go. Has a little more meat.
That can happen when the wine is aged like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes a cork, you just go right through it. Yeah, absolutely. I think what I'm going to do is this cork is falling apart. Now, that's not a bad thing. You know, cork breaks down with age. So the best thing, what I usually do, is I'll just push it in, and then we get a screen. And then we pour it through a screen, because that's happened to us quite a bit.
Yep.
So with older wines. And I know it's been stored very well. So I'm just going to pop it in the cork. And I'm going to go off camera and get us a nice screen for this. I have a beautiful little screen I use for my French press coffee. And I'll go get that, and we'll pick it up from there.
Beautiful.
A few moments later.
Okay, so here we go. A little screen. Let's do it this way. So we'll try, you want to try this first, so let's do this. I'm hoping that it doesn't, there we go. So I want the cork to actually float up to the other side of the bottle as I pour. There we go.
Perfect.
Really pieces, but I think we did pretty well. I'm going to do mine one more time because mine really had quite a bit on it. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's better. Okay, great. Okay, let's taste. Beerenauslese.
Goes in. Oh wow.
That's just honey. Honey, just caramelized honey, and
Yeah.
the honeysuckle. There's this little bit of a nectar, the inside of the little flower.
Yeah, get some floral, rich orange.
Yes.
I swallowed this one. It went down accidentally. But this is all honey. On my palate, it's liquid honey in the most pleasant way. Not cloying.
Clover honey, but not cloying. Yeah, there's, I don't want to say acidity. It's not acidity. It's so smooth and soft and round and just plush. So nice.
Wow, this is special. Now, I know we call it dessert wine, and I used to pair a lot of desserts with dessert wine, but over the years it got a little bit too much for me. And I think some of these dessert wines are so special and so decadent and expressive, lush, that it's dessert in itself. You don't need anything with it.
Not a
It's
thing.
so beautiful.
Not a thing. It's a real standalone. I mean, you could see, you could fire a little custard. I maybe something more neutral.
Sure.
Because I don't want to cover this flavor.
Right.
Just gorgeous.
Yeah. This is special.
You would need some tartness in your dessert to balance, because it's just such a beautiful sweetness. But I don't want to get rid in the way of the floral, the petally aromatic, and that beautiful sweet nectar.
Has a lot of layers, and I always feel when a wine offers so many layers, so many nuances, that's always a quality sign. You always can tell this is
It just doesn't disappear.
right.
Now, some wines we want to disappear. You want to clean the palate. Oh no, I didn't mean that. Like, that's so bad. Get it out of here. No, you want it to disappear, like almost clean the palate for the next taste. It's almost functional,
right.
almost a pragmatic and usage, and that's usually how it's used in the culture that it comes from.
Like champagne or sparkling wine.
Absolutely, and what was the wine we were just talking about from Austria?
Grüner Veltliner.
Grüner Veltliner. Absolutely, you want it to. That's the beautiful thing about some of those Grüners. The last Grüner we did in a past episode. If you missed the Grüner episode, find it. It was the one we did 4 wines, in 4 wines in one episode. But the Austrian wine that we did is just, it didn't disappear, and that was the surprise in that tasting. There was a lot of viscosity and body. Surprisingly. But this is, wow, just beautiful.
This is special.
I hate to-
Now, one thing I noticed on the label, it didn't
That's right.
doesn't show the grape varietal. It just says white wine. So I looked it up.
So we looked it up. Now,
The name of the grape is Huxelrebe. Huxelrebe.
I have to give that a shot. Huxel, right? So you umlaut. Huxel? No.
H-U.
H-U.
X. Huxel.
Oh, it is an X. Huxel.
Correct.
Huxelrebe.
Correct. And it was named after Georg Huxel, viticulturist.
But the grape was produced by the one we used to pour together in our food matching.
Dr. Scheu.
Dr. Scheu, his Scheurebe. Woo! So, not Riesling, Huxelrebe.
Huxelrebe. It's a grape that is grown mainly in Rheinhessen, Pfalz.
Again, named for the river, the Rhine. I love the Rhines. Brown bottle, classic brown bottle from the Rhine. Green bottle, especially in this vintage. Green bottle from the Mosel. So, traditionally.
Correct.
Yeah.
A little bit is grown in England as well, because the grape varietal is a high yielding grape varietal and early ripening. So it's really perfect for cooler wine regions.
There it is.
England and northern Germany.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wonderful. That's a great tidbit. Huxelrebe. Beautiful. I hate to do this. Here we go. Let's go to Muscat Beaumes-de-Venise.
Special.
Yes.
We can come back to this later.
Okay, good. I was hoping she'd say that. Okay, Muscat Beaumes-de-Venise. An excellent, excellent dessert wine from southeast France. This producer, or this négociant, Paul Jaboulet Ainé, very famous for their Châteauneuf-du-Papes and Rhône wines. Yep, absolutely. Totally different.
Very different. Yeah.
Really showing age and a little quirkiness on the nose. I saw that look on your face. You have to be honest.
Yeah. I thought I picked a little bit up on the cork, but sometimes when you pour it in a glass and you swirl it and you introduce air, sometimes it blows off.
Yeah.
So you have to...
And a gentleman who's becoming such a good wine colleague. He picked the best bottle that he could pick he has one case, a few bottles, and he picked the best Ullage. It didn't look like it had a leak, but I noticed a little bit of something, a little sap. I said, maybe not, because he tasted we tasted in the store, and it was fine. But yes, I definitely have to taste this again. I think, no, you know what this means? I'll do another episode with a Muscat Beaumes-de-Venise. But we get to go back to the Beerenauslese. And you know what? The glass is fouled. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this little stemless wine glass to the side, and I'll take yours and go over the side. And where's my screen? Hold up the stemless wine glass, because there's no way we're going to clear that corkishness. Ah, that was a good choice, using the stemless wine glass as the water glass. And there we go, and we get to go out on a new favorita. I'm sorry, I went to Italian instead of French.
That's quite
Give me
all
the
right.
German on that, if I wanted to say favorita.
Mein Favorit?
Mein Favorit?
Ja.
Mein Favorit.
Favorit.
Yes, meine Favorit.
Sehr schön.
Mein Freund. Freunde, yes.
Freundin.
Freundin, yes. That's my friend, female, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Sip, subscribe, and share. Make sure if you're sipping, you're over 21. But definitely subscribe, share this. This is fun. And by the way, we have a winner to announce for our big first giveaway, subscriber giveaway. And it's going to be Tina Kaye. She actually is from New Jersey. Our audience, our local audience is really growing. We want to take it further, but so happy. Her favorite episode was the Sauvignon Blanc episode. And I'm very happy to select the wine for Tina Kaye and send it out. So I can't wait. Tina Kaye, congratulations. I can't wait to send you a little bottle and, of course, the nice mask and a couple of glasses. All right? Cheers.
Cheers.
Come and join us again. And you know I'm going to have Suzanne back because it's just too fun.
Thank you, John. It's always so nice to be here.
Let's chat wine. Again.